Welcome back to Haunted Honeymooners. This is our second review. Had a good response to our first review. A lot of views on YouTube, which was very exciting. 34 followers is where we are currently at on Facebook. That is also very, very exciting. We were not expecting to get up to that number. Now, in relation as to where that puts us in regards to the Blackout Challenge, 2,000 followers. So we'll let you all do the math. It's not too complicated. 2,000 minus 34. That number there, that's how many more we need. That's how many more we need for me to go into the condom infested, make you walk through it barefoot, do very things to you, blackout haunted attraction. Live. Before interview, after interview, as I'm laid, curled up in the fetal position possibly, thinking about all the mistakes I've made in my life and why I just did that. And you'll be there to witness that live. Just need a few more followers. Now, as far as YouTube goes, lots of views, which is exciting, but only 3 subscribers again. So we would really, really like to push getting some more subscribers on YouTube. That's really what we're looking for. Now, what are we reviewing today? Where are we going today? We're going to Fallsburg, Kentucky. Now, Fallsburg, Kentucky is just a little ways past Ashland on 5877 Kentucky 3 in Fallsburg, Kentucky. Excuse me there. Sometimes the candle flickering isn't the easiest thing to always read on a handwritten note. Trying my best here, folks. Trying my best. Now, how did Fallsburg start out? There's so much history on this place. Find out for yourself. We're going to leave a link down at the bottom for you to check out. And it has every single little detail about Fallsburg Fearplex. And if we went through every single detail, most of you would probably fall asleep on me, and we don't want that. So we're going to touch on just a couple of things real quickly, and we're going to jump straight into this haunt. Because there's, again, 5 haunts. There's a lot to go over with this one. Now, it started off as a way to raise money for Fallsburg Elementary School. This was really the only attraction of its kind in the area. Then it jumps back and forth between several different groups doing different charities, takes a couple years off, everything else. And then 2011 rolls around. Why is 2011 important? Because 2011 Fallsburg Fearplex goes commercial. Now, this opens up so much more possibilities than, now granted, doing stuff for the elementary schools and doing stuff for charities. It is what it is. And that's a nice thing to be able to do, but that's never going to generate the level of haunt that a lot of people would like to go to, and a lot of people, especially like me, would like to experience, because it just doesn't have the funds to do that. Again, not bashing Scareview, but we're not quite done with you yet. Again, disappointed. Still have things to talk about with you. But anyways, you see it a little bit in Scareview because it is a charity-based organization. Majority of that money, if not all of that money, is going right back into the volunteer fire department. So it's hard to really build on that and make that better each and every year. And Fallsburg doesn't suffer from that. You can clearly see the difference between the two. Now, as far as cost, getting into Fallsburg Fearplex, it's $22 for general admission, $40 for Fast Pass. Fast Pass Scareview, it's $40. People pay it. We wish we would have paid it. We paid general admission. We got there early, thought we'd be okay. We weren't. It was almost an hour wait in the ticket line before they even started to sell tickets, and there was a big line behind us. So the complex started selling tickets right around 7 o'clock. We got there at 6:30, and at 6:30, there was a line already past, almost to the edge of the parking lot. Pretty good distance that we had to wait in for that. And then it's a pretty good line after that to get in. We're going to leave a couple pictures. They've actually already been posted up there. You can see the line for the general admission and the Fast Pass line. It's just breezing through. $18 more, man, and it makes these so much better. Waiting. People in the back would have waited probably close to 3 hours in that general admission line, if not longer. So it's definitely worth it. Definitely worth it. And it just doesn't still to this day make sense why any haunted attraction wouldn't take advantage of that. It's crazy. Now, one thing that Fearplex did disappoint with a little bit, the interaction in the line wasn't really there. There was one lady that was absolutely positively killing it. She was walking around with a little demon baby. She did a really good job. But you can see in the line how many people there are. There's no way that one single lady is going to keep that many people entertained and into it. So the lines do drag a little bit. They try to compensate for it. They've got some pretty good music playing, and they do have a horror movie playing. It was a pretty decent horror movie. We're not going to mention it by name because we want you to go. Go see it for yourself. Don't ask me about everything. You go see that horror movie. Go see it at Fallsburg Fearplex. It's a pretty good one. And it's not the same, though. I'm not there to watch horror movies. If I want to watch horror movies, I can, Netflix, go home and chill, watch all the horror movies I want. And I'm not standing out in the cold. I'm there because I want to see your actors. I'm there because I want somebody to get in my face. And it was almost 2 hours of waiting with not really anybody in my face, which is fine because they more than make up for it in the haunt. In the building, it's when you first see it from the outside. Again, there's another picture of the building that we've already posted up on our Facebook page as well. It's not bad. As far it just kind of looks like a cabin in the woods style setup. Nothing really spectacular that's going to jump right at you at first. But one thing that is pretty cool about it is they have some pretty intense pyrotechnics going on pretty early on into the first haunt. And as you're standing in line periodically, you will see those flames jump out at the top of the roof, and you can see it glow, and you can just about feel the heat off of it sometimes when you get close enough. And it's a very, very cool effect that they do have going on with that. Another thing that Fallsburg Fearplex knocks out of the park is how they introduce you to the haunt. Most of these haunts all of these haunts have rules, different stuff you're not allowed to do. And most of them presented in a way where there's this lady, guy that's just talking to you while you're waiting in line, goes over all the rules, tells you what you can and can't do. And for about 2 to 3 minutes before you're going into the haunt, it just kind of takes you out of it for a little while. It's not really the same. And it takes you out of that element, and you just kind of feel like, okay, so we're just listening to this person and making sure we don't break any of the rules. Cool. Fallsburg doesn't do that. The rules are clearly posted, which is absolutely awesome because you can just read them. And then when you're actually inside waiting for the haunt, you're in this dark room. Heavy metal music is playing, Disturbed, Godsmack. It's this nice mixture that they have just bleeding into each other. And somebody just looks at you and says, Group 2, go. And that's it. You're in. You're walking through. So now we're going to start getting in to these haunts. Again, 5 different haunts. The first haunt is traditional haunted house, and it is absolutely one of the best haunted houses that I personally have ever had the opportunity to go through. I've been through several. Man, this one is violent. It's gory. It is in your face right from the beginning. The only disappointing aspect of this haunt, and we're going to list the names off of these haunts. The first one is Fallsburg Haunted House. Again, very traditional, very easy to understand what you're walking into with this. Just the intensity level in it. Man, the actors killed it in here. It's loaded with actors. There's never a point where you're walking through where you don't have to kind of slow down and peek around the corner and see what's going on. As we mentioned before, I have a really high tolerance for these things, and it takes a lot for me to genuinely get scared. And there wasn't moments where I was genuinely scared or terrified or anything like that, or felt like getting out of it. I loved every second of it. Trish looked at me at one point and said, I can't stop grinning ear to ear. And that's a cool experience when your nerves are going, your heart's racing, you just don't know what's coming around that next curve, and you can't stop. It's happening right now just thinking about it. I can feel it sneaking up a little bit. It's an awesome experience, and they just kill it. This wasn't Trisha's favorite part. We're going to get into her favorite spot a little later on. This was absolutely my favorite part. They don't touch you, but man, if you have problems with your personal bubble being popped, it's not for you, because they're going to pop the shit out of your personal bubble. They do a very, very good job with it. Very impressive. Now, you come out of the Fallsburg Haunted House. The downside that we were talking about earlier is the length of it. 5 minutes, maybe a little longer than that. I get it. It is 100% forgivable. You've got, again, 5 different haunts that they're trying to get you through. And if every one of these ran 10 to 15 minutes, there's no way that they'd be able to manage that. So I get it completely, and they do a really good job making the time that you're in there very much worth it. The next hunt is called Crazy Creek. This one was very, very good as far as the environment. Kind of a junkyard theme. We don't want to get into it too much because, again, we want you to go. If you're thinking about a local hunt and you're willing to go, about an hour or so, it's a good one. It's a very, very good one. It's worth it. It's worth it's worth it. Again, so Crazy Creek, essentially a junkyard, very, very tight corridors, actors popping out of different items, cars, obviously, if it's a junkyard, probably not big spoiler to tell you that there's some cars there, a few tires, and they have a lot of opportunities in there. I think out of all of them, while the environment was really cool, I don't know about Trish, but for me, this was probably the most disappointing one that I went through. Very, very cool environment. You can tell that it took them a lot of time to put it together, but it seems like that's where all the effort kind of stopped, because they didn't have as many actors in there as I personally would have liked to seen. I think you can tell after our first review and going into this one, actors are a really, really big deal to me. They make these things. You can have a shitty environment, a crap building, and if you have actors inside there that kill it, it changes everything. And while the actors here were good, there wasn't enough of them. There was too many times where you're just walking through Crazy Creek, and that's it. I mean, you're anticipating things, but you're just kind of walking, and then you're out of it, and you're kind of, all right, that looked cool. Not horrible, but was definitely wasn't my favorite part. Now, after Crazy Creek, you go to Backwoods Blackout. Now, this one's, again, should be pretty self-explanatory. It is a pitch black room. Corridors, it's very, very confusing. There's no glow stick. there's nothing. We've been through one of these lights out tour with a glow stick, and when I think back to this one, it's a little crazy to do it, because there's a couple little spots in the hallways and stuff where it has kind of these false fuse breaks and these little pops of electricity, and you get this flash of light for half of a second, which kind of helps you a little bit. It's definitely not enough. Not a lot of actors in here. There doesn't need to be, because it's intense enough. The group that Trish and I were in, I ended up bumping to the guy that was behind me numerous times, and he ended up bumping into me numerous times. And somehow I started out in front of him. I was in front of him for the first two hunts. We entered this one, me in front of him, and somehow he got in front of me. And I'm not a small guy, and this was a big dude, big dude. Somehow he like ninja'd his way around me accidentally in this pitch black room and got in front of me somehow, and neither one of us could figure it the fuck out. It was very confusing. And it's a very, very good job. It's nerve-wracking because there are a few actors in there. Just because we said there's not a lot. There is a few. You're not going to see them. They're going to get you. They're going to get you good. And then they have different areas where it's essentially a giant balloon filling a hallway. A balloon attached to each side of the wall that you have to push your way through. But it's very, very disorienting, and you don't really know what's on the other end of it, and it's done very, very well. If you're claustrophobic, not for you. Not for you at all. Come out of Backwoods Blackout, and we are now going to enter Trish's favorite area. Wasn't really scary for me. Wasn't really scary for her either. But it's almost not the intention. It's very, very trippy.
It's a Halloween art gala.
Yeah. It'd probably be a bad time to be trying any hallucinogenic drugs. Pretty rough on that particular person. Appalachian Nightmare 3D. If you're unfamiliar with 3D, this point in your life, you're on YouTube and stuff like that, I don't know what to say. So I'm not going to explain 3D. I think we all understand what 3D is. Um, they use kind of a fluorescent paint throughout this entire area. Plenty of jump scares, and the paint that they put on the walls and that they use in this area really pops out at you. And I know that's silly to say when it's 3D, but it's hard to describe. It's not like watching a movie at all. It's a completely different experience. And they do a very big job with it. When you're watching a movie, you have it just kind of coming at you. You can turn to your left or your right, and you're out of that moment. Here you can't. It completely surrounds you, and you get lost in that environment. And you just look everywhere you look, it's there. There's no getting away from it. And while you get lost in that moment and you're looking at all the cool stuff it's coming at you, you feel like you can reach out and touch it. A wall drops and an actor screams at you from inside, and their face paint is done with the same paint, and now that's jumping out at you. You don't get that in the movies. You don't get that at a 3D movie. You get that here. It's very, very well done. Awesome job. Wasn't my favorite. I go to these things because I want to get shook. There is, excuse me, when I act like I don't want to do blackout and stuff like that, there is part of me, crazy and maybe sick as this sounds, that wants to go just because I'm curious and I want to know, and I know that it's something that's actually going to really push me to another level. So that's what I'm looking for with these things. I want to be shook. But I get why this was Trisha's favorite area. It was phenomenal. It was so well done. I really enjoyed it as well. Now, the very last stop on our ride through Fallsburg Fearplex is Fearplex Last Stop. Chainsaws, violence, gore. It's all here. And it's all done very, very well. Very in your face. Just very well done. It's kind of a repeat of the first one, honestly. Just more chainsaws. A lot more chainsaws. And it's very well done. Very, very well done. I'm not going to get into it too much because, again, we want you to go. We want you to see these things. And, again, if you're thinking about one in your area or in our backyard of sorts, and you're really not sure which one to go, and maybe you can only go to one, you're not going to be disappointed here. And if you've never been to one, while the first part of the haunted house might be a little intense and might be a little in your face, maybe a little more than what you're anticipating, the rest of it is really going to bring you to a nice spot and really make you enjoy it for the rest of it. And honestly, you're going to be fine in the haunted house too. They're not going to touch you. They're not. It's okay. You can go. You can have fun. Mom, Dad, you can go. It's okay. So that's going to pretty much wrap it up for Fallsburg Fearplex. When you come out of the last stop, merchandise for sale. Hoodies, shirts, pictures. We didn't look around too awfully much in there, but I'm sure they had shot glasses and all types of different stuff for sale in there. And all types of people were stopping and buying it. The only negative that I could say for how they have it set up is you're coming out of the last stop, and they try to end it with a bang, and they do end it with a bang, and then you're running, and then you almost run through their merchandise area before you realize, oh shit, there's stuff for sale. So maybe having that on the outside of the haunt, or a little bit of time for people to kind of gather themselves again before they run through that would maybe help out a little bit. The owner was there. I am at least assuming it was the owner. He struck me as the owner. He really seemed like he was the owner. I didn't look at him and ask him if he was the owner, so maybe he's not, but I'm pretty sure he was. Stopped and talked to us for a little bit, and he approached us. We didn't approach him, and we didn't look like anybody special or anything like that. We were just walking out. And he commented on my West Virginia hoodie and came out and talked to us for a little bit. Asked us what we thought of the haunt. Asked us if there were things he thought that they could do better, which I really appreciated that. Looking for some feedback and listening to what the fans want and what they expect. When we get into our ratings, it's something that we've done. We've listened to you. We've changed our ratings up a little bit because of your feedback, because you asked us to. This is for you. This isn't for us. We're just some weird guy that likes to talk about haunted stuff. That's all. So anyways, he looked for our feedback, and I really, really appreciated that. And I hope this isn't a spoiler for him or anything like that. I don't think that it is. But there are rumors, possibilities, maybe, possibly an extreme haunt coming to Fallsburg Fearplex. Maybe in a year, maybe in 2 years. If that happens, Mr. Owner of Fallsburg Fearplex, I'd very much like to be one of the first in line. And would love to do a review because if it is anything like your initial haunted house, you are going to absolutely kill it, man. And I'd like to even see some of that 3D stuff in there, maybe done in a way to intimidate and everything else like that. Man, so many good things in here. Just very, very well done. And again, man, if that extreme haunt is something that you were serious about, that's something that's going to happen. Please, man, let us know. We'll let every single person that we know that we possibly can know about it, man, because we think that'd be very exciting, especially in our backyard. Man, not having to drive to Cincinnati or Pittsburgh or good God, New Orleans or anything like that and have one in our backyard, man. Thank you if you do that. That would be amazing. So we're going to get into the ratings. And like I was talking about earlier, we did change the ratings up just a little bit. We broke up the actors and the environment. You guys said, hey, the actors and the environment are different. You stop that. You stop that right now. So we did. First one that we're going to go on is the actors, and then we will hit environment in 2 separate categories, and then we're going to hit scare factor, and then overall experience, how this thing was. Now, actors, I understand Fallsburg. We love you. You did an awesome job. Don't get offended at this point. It's only 2 reviews, I know that, but you're breaking records today. Okay? Maybe not quite what you were expecting or hoping, but you're breaking records today. Okay? 5. 5 for the actors, and it has nothing to do with the quality of the actors. They were on point. They were very, very good. It has to do with you had one, at least the night that we were there was one lady that was interacting with the line. That's unacceptable, Fallsburg. It's unacceptable. It's too big. There needs to be at least 2. Maybe even 3. 2 is, I can deal with 2. But 1, it's crazy. There's no way that lady can contend with all of those people. There's people in line, probably never even saw her. That's not fair to them. That's not fair to her because she was pretty cool and she needed some help. And other than the initial haunt, again, the actors were scarce. And I get it. It's probably very, very difficult to find that quality of actors on the level that you would need to truly fill every single spot. But you chose to do a haunt like this, and you chose to spread it out like that. And that's part of the drawback for it. Again, any actor from Fallsburg Fearplex that watches this or has the opportunity to watch this, you did an amazing, 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 amazing job. We will be back next year. Whether there's an extreme haunt or not, just because of the job that you all did. Now, we'll move on to the environment. The environment is a 7. A 7 for the environment. Very well done. While the actors lacked a little bit, the thought and time that went into creating this complex is impressive. Scareview had some cool things. This place is on a whole different level. I know that we kind of shit on Crazy Creek a little bit as far as how we felt about it, and it was kind of the bottom of the pile. That doesn't mean it sucked, and they did a very, very, very good job with the environment, man. A lot of different things to catch the eye, and what they do with that, and when they get you to catch the eye somewhere else, it does open up the opportunity for some good scares at different points. So again, we went with a 5 on the actors, a 7 on the environment, scare factor of 6. Again, you had 2 haunts, 2.5, I guess if you want to throw Blackout kind of into the scarier pile, that were kind of on a good scare level. But again, the creek, the junkyard area, and the 3D area, while the 3D area was super, super cool, it's a big part of the reason you got a 7 on your environment. Not too scary. So right there in the middle, nice little 6. And overall, you're also going to be walking away with a 6. Very well done. Very, very well done. Things that could definitely be improved. Again, I'm sorry, I'm just big on actors. I'd like to see more. And I think you can bring more next year. I hope you can. And if not, we're still coming back. We're going to come back and see the actors that were there because, man, they killed it. Absolutely killed it. So that's going to do us for Fallsburg Fearplex completely. The next review will be on Scarehouse. We're doing 2 reviews on Scarehouse, but we're going to start off with one. The first review we're doing will be their Lights Out tour. We'll go over that one. Pretty good detail. Very, very cool haunt. Kind of disappointed we did it. We're going to go back and do the other one as well. We'll also be doing Scarehouse the Basement later on. We still have the Den House. We still have the USS Nightmare. Still have so many things to do. Bonus episode? No. We wouldn't. Maybe. Maybe there's a bonus episode coming. Something you don't know about. We'll see. But that's it. That's it for Haunted Honeymooners. I'm JC Russell. That's Trish Russell. Y'all have a wonderful evening.